What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the Treasure Zone. 2 nights ago, I had a terrible idea to play a set of Great League with counter as the fast move for all 3 Pokemon. That terrible idea helped me win 18 out of 25 matches and climb enough elo to jump into the ace ranking for the first time. So I just want to talk about the team as the first match plays in the background. Like I said before, this team won 18 out of 25 matches, which I think is extremely good for what the team is, because it's not meant to be the most competitive team. It's meant to be a very fun team to battle with. So now let's get into the team and why I chose these Pokemon. I chose Primeape as the lead for this team. If you follow the channel and you've seen the showcase about Primeape, you know how I feel about it. It's way too strong not to use, and its charge moves have such wide coverage, it ends up being very versatile. Especially because both of the charge moves cover 2 of the 3 of Primeape's weaknesses. The only weakness Primeape isn't covered against is if it faces off against a fairy-type Pokemon. Usually I would have another Pokemon in the back to be able to deal with the fairies, but because I chose the bad idea of having triple counter, I didn't have a good answer face off against fairy Pokemon. And that is what caused most of the losses. Moving on to the second Pokemon of the team, we have Defense Form Deoxys. Counter and Thunderbolt is by no means the ideal moves for Deoxys, although I found in this team, Thunderbolt is very useful to deal with flyers and water-type Pokemon. And hence the name of Defense Form Deoxys, it is extremely tanky. A lot of the times I throw in Deoxys just to soak up some charged moves. Moving on to the final Pokemon of this team, I have Toxicroak. Toxicroak is also a very strong Pokemon with counter. Dynamic Punch is a very good charge move because even if it's resisted, it will still do quite a bit of damage. Sludge Bomb is also very good, it's a partial nuke, and it is my attempt to combat fairy-type Pokemon with this poison charge move, although Toxicroak is also very weak to fairy-type Pokemon, so unless it has an edge of a shield advantage or energy advantage, it will come down very close. So I'm going to speed up the rest of this battle as it winds down so we could jump straight into the second. Jumping into the second battle of the set, Primeape is going to be faced against an Alolan Raichu, which is a great matchup because we have a shield. Alolan Raichu is part Psychic type, so Night Slash will be doing super effective damage, although I am a little scared for a Wild Charge because that will also do a good amount of damage on Primeape. So that's why I'm going to throw the Night Slash as soon as I get it, and force the opponent into a decision. Although they do let it go through, they were not expecting the Night Slash. That does a huge amount of damage, and Primeape is able to finish off the rest of the Raichu's health with a couple counters. Next, they throw out an Azumarill. And like most Pokemon this team is faced off against, this is also a scary matchup. We don't want Azumarill to have Play Rough, and our counter fast move won't be doing that much damage. And with this team, all 3 Pokemon have the counter fast move, so we won't be doing damage with fast moves. We're going to have to figure out a way to hit some charged attacks on it. And I'm just going to keep Primeape in and let it go down so we don't use our Switch Clock, so we still have that option a little bit later if we need it. Ooh, Primeape able to tank a couple more bubbles than I thought it would be able to there. And next, I'm going to throw in Deoxys. Like I said, that's kind of our safe swap on the team. It's able to tank a lot of charged moves. And it also has Thunderbolt, so if we can land a Thunderbolt, that will look very good for us here with the Azumarill. Their Azumarill is going to use a Play Rough, so it's good I was scared of them having that move. And the opponent using their Play Roughs on this Deoxys is the best possible case scenario for us because both Primeape and Toxicroak will be very weak to it. So I'm going to overfarm and charge up on energy while the opponent is using all their energy on this Deoxys. But they seem to not like the direction this battle is going, so they're going to go ahead and swap to an Altaria, which is still great for us because of Deoxys' Thunderbolt. It is 100% going to force their last shield. They definitely don't want their Altaria getting hit by a Thunderbolt. And our Deoxys is a couple hits away from being able to throw off the second Thunderbolt with their shields down, which would most likely take out the Altaria. But I had a feeling that Altaria would get to a charge move faster than I would get to that last Thunderbolt, so I swapped in Toxicroak to kind of sacrifice it. And that's when I realized I wasn't paying attention too hard because I still had 2 shields up, which I forgot about. But my thought process here was to try and hit a Sludge Bomb on the Altaria, and have Toxicroak take the rest of it out, so that way Deoxys can use its final Thunderbolt on the Azumarill they have stuck in the back. So I'm going to keep tapping as fast as I can. I know Altaria is going to be able to get to a second Sky Attack, but that's okay because we still have the second shield. And after this shield, I thought Toxicroak would have been able to farm down the Altaria, but they do swap, sacrifice, and catch a charge move with their Azumarill, which might even be better for us. And this Dynamic Punch is going to do a good amount of damage even though it's resisted by Azumarill, and let Toxicroak finish off the Azumarill and get the final hit on the Altaria to win the match. Good game and very well played to my opponent. Hopping into the third match, I hit record a second too late, but our Primeape is going to be faced against a Jellicent, which is great because we have Night Slash. It's going to be doing super effective damage, so as soon as we get the charge move, we're going to throw it to force the opponent to make a decision of either shielding or tanking the unknown charged attack. And they are not going to shield it. They might have been expecting a close combat or something, but the Night Slash gets through and does a great amount of damage. Next, it's their turn for a charged attack. And I didn't mean to shield this attack, but I was tapping so fast I accidentally hit the shield. I knew it was going to be a bubble beam. The Jellicent is going to be able to get to its second charged move, which I don't want to use both of my shields on the Primeape, so even though I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Shadow Ball, we'll have to take it anyway. And I ended up being correct, so Primeape's going to go down while it had charge move, which is unfortunate for us. But I still had hope left, so I'm going to throw out the Toxicroak instead of the Deoxys because I don't want to use a shield, but I also don't want Deoxys getting hit by a Shadow Ball. And the Jellicent does get to their charge move first, so I'm going to really hope here that the opponent's going to use a Bubble Beam trying to bait the last shield out. And I was correct on that one, so we got lucky there. Toxicroak will be able to take the Bubble Beam no problem, and I'll be able to get to the Sludge Bomb before they get to another charge move to hopefully take out the Jellicent. And they are going to let the Sludge Bomb go through, and we finally finished off the Jellicent. However, they do still have both of their shields, so we're just going to have to start throwing out some charged attacks. The next Pokemon they throw out is a Vigoroth, which is great for us. Its normal typing means our counter moves are super effective. We get to a Dynamic Punch, and we're going to throw it here. They haven't seen us use Dynamic Punch yet, so I don't know if they're expecting it. Although it doesn't end up mattering, they're just going to use their first shield to protect their Vigoroth, and they're going to get to their charged attack. And I knew in this situation, Toxicroak would have been able to get to its second charge move faster than Vigoroth got to its charge move. So I'm going to use my final shield to keep Toxicroak alive and keep the threat of his charge move alive also. So I get to the Dynamic Punch and I'm going to throw it, hoping that they use their final shield here. Which they do here, and it's great for us because Toxicroak was able to take down both their shields while we only had one available. Vigoroth is going to finish off the Toxicroak, and we're going to send in Deoxys, but with one fast attack, Deoxys will be able to take down the Vigoroth. Their last Pokemon coming out is Abomasnow. Which, even though the fast move for Deoxys is super effective against Abomasnow, I didn't know how this would turn out from the beginning because this is the first matchup I've played of these two. But after the amount of damage I saw that their charge attack does to our Deoxys, I knew that in the long run we'd be able to take this matchup. We're going to go ahead and throw our Thunderbolt, which is going to be resisted damage, although it's still going to be damage, which is going to help us win this matchup. So now all Deoxys has to do is be able to tank one more of their charge attacks, and we'll be able to farm down and take another unlikely matchup win with the triple counter team. It forces the player to make decisions they wouldn't normally be making to try and get the edge, which is what makes it fun. To win with this team, you have to work for it. And in this game, that work paid off, so good game and very well played to my opponent. Jumping into the second to last game here, Primeape on the lead is going to be faced against the Garvantula, which even though Primeape is going to be doing resisted damage to the Garvantula, having access to these charged moves is why Primeape can win this matchup. And I'm not going to throw the Night Slash as soon as I get it. I want to farm up a little bit more energy. They get to their charged move, and I know it'll just be a lunge, which won't be enough damage to kill the Primeape, so I'm going to go ahead and tank it, and keep on overcharging so we have two Night Slashes ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and throw the first one here, which depending on how they react, will depend on if I throw the second or swap out. They tank it, so we're going to go ahead and swap out, throw the Deoxys, and try and farm down the rest. Which even though their Garvantula is already low, they're going to use their swap to keep it alive and throw out a Skarmory, which is great because we have Thunderbolt here for this reason, although they will probably use their first shield here to protect their Skarmory. They do end up using their first shield, so we're just going to keep on farming. So their Skarmory is going to get to their charged attack, and a Sky attack is not a threat to us. Deoxys will be able to survive it. So we are going to choose to not use our first shield here. And this is why I like having Deoxys on the team so much. It could take the hits, and then it's able to give out some hits. And now Deoxys gets to its second Thunderbolt, which the opponent is gonna have to use their last shield to protect their Skarmory, which will end up leaving us with a double shield advantage. And we are forced to let Deoxys go down because our switch clock is not up yet. But Deoxys is strong enough to be able to survive these air slashes. The opponent's gonna get scared enough that they're gonna throw their last energy on this Deoxys to take it out, which is very beneficial to us because that means that we won't have to use a shield to keep our Primeape and Toxicroak alive and not taking a Sky attack. Then we're going to throw in our Primeape, which still has a Night Slash loaded up from before. and I didn't want to risk Primeape taking an Air Slash and maybe getting knocked out and losing energy, so I didn't charge up to the Ice Punch, I just threw the Night Slash. And Night Slash will not be enough to take out the Skarmory, but because they don't have energy, we're going to be able to farm down with them, and it's going to end up in a simultaneous knockout. And now Toxicroak is left in a 2v1 situation, although we do still have both shields up, so Toxicroak will most likely not be taking a charge attack. They end up throwing out Swampert, which even though we won't get hit by a Hydro Cannon, it is still scary because of how fast it charges. They get there first, so they're going to throw their first Hydro Cannon and we're going to shield it. So my plan is to keep farming up energy while they get to their second Hydro Cannon in hopes that we'll have the advantage then, and as they get to their second Hydro Cannon, we're going to use our final shield. Which is going to put us in a little bit of an awkward situation because I don't want to throw all the energy on the Swampert. I'm going to count their moves and we're going to be able to actually farm down the Swampert without throwing a charge attack. Then they're going to throw back in their Garvantula, which is going to get hit by a Dynamic Punch and finish the game. Good game and very well played to my opponent. Currently we have 4 wins and 0 losses going into this last battle, hoping to get the win for an undefeated set. As a disclaimer, I did switch up the order of the battles because I thought this made it more interesting. But going back into the battle, we're going to be faced off against a Scrafty on the lead, which because of its Dart typing, our Primeape will be doing super effective damage to it, which is going to force them to switch into a Girder, and I'm going to charge up a little bit more on energy and swap to a Deoxys to catch the charge move, because I figured it would be a fighting type move, and fighting will do less damage to our Deoxys than it would our Primeape. Deoxys is slowly chipping away the Girder with these counters, but we get to a Thunderbolt, so we're going to go ahead and throw it, because I felt like their Girder had enough health that they might want to save it. They do end up using their first shield on this Girder to protect the Thunderbolt, and then they're going to get to their charge move, and we're not going to block it. We already know what Brick Break does to us, but they switch it up and end up having a second charge move, which is Stone Edge, and that does a huge amount of damage to our Deoxys. And now we're going to hope that this Deoxys can finish off the Girder with counter, although they do get to another charge move, which even if it's a Brick Break, it will be able to take out our Deoxys, and our Thunderbolt is so close to being able to be thrown that I'm going to shield this attack so we'll be able to get off the Thunderbolt. So we finally finish off the Girder, and next they throw out a Swampert, and we're going to throw the Thunderbolt right away to force the shield out of them. They do end up shielding and finishing off our Deoxys. Next we're going to throw in Primeape and use a Night Slash that was ready to go, and we're not too worried about one Hydro Cannon because we do have a shield left, and I know Primeape will be able to finish off a Swampert with no shields before they get to 2 Hydro Cannons. Night Slash does a decent chunk here. We're going to hope for the stat boost, but we do not get it. But we are able to get to a second Night Slash before they get to 1 Hydro Cannon, which is huge. This is going to bring the Swampert low enough that we'll be able to counter and finish it off, but we do also get the stat boost from Night Slash, so we are 100% going to use this final shield to protect against the Hydro Cannon. And all it would take from Primeape is one more counter to finish off the Swampert, but they switch into a Scrafty that has a charge attack nearly ready to go as I try and farm it down. And I can't get there in time. They are going to get their charged attack off, but Power Up Punch is not a threat to us whatsoever. It's going to do barely any damage, but it's going to give us the opportunity for Primeape to farm down the Scrafty and then get the last hit on the Swampert. That's going to bring us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around to the end if you did. Make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.